Good morning and welcome to Bible study at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Stittsville for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. Again, we had our COVID-19 virtual Zoom Bible study this morning and it went very well. At the end of this, you'll see a little clip of us all saying goodbye. Also wanted to remind you that if you've been following along on our Lenten calendar, this week for Holy Week, we're praying for different people. It began on Monday with praying for those who struggle with hard decisions. Yesterday was to pray for those who choose to spend their lives serving others, and we're thinking about that especially right now in terms of our healthcare workers and people working in drugstores as well, and those who are on the front lines helping to bring us through this COVID-19 time, and thinking as well about politicians, those who've chosen to serve others as well. Today is pray for those who try and fail. Thinking of those who make their best efforts and yet still fall short, and the devastation can come with that. Tomorrow is to pray for those who are hungry and thirsty, and Friday, Good Friday, pray for those who try to do the right thing. So those are our prayer requests for this week. And finally on Saturday, to pray for yourself, for peace and for calm. So we come into Holy Week in a time of prayer and meditation. I'm going to read for you the Gospel reading for this coming Sunday, which is from the Gospel according to John chapter 20, reading verses 1 to 18. Let's listen for God's word speaking to us today. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." Then Peter and the other disciple set out and went toward the tomb. The two were running together, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent down to look in and saw the linen wrappings lying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter came, following him, and went into the tomb. He saw the linen wrappings lying there, and the cloth that had been on Jesus' head, not lying with the linen wrappings, but rolled up in a place by itself. Then the other disciple, who reached the tomb first, also went in, and he saw and believed. For as they did not yet understand the scripture, that he must rise from the dead. Then the disciples returned to their homes. But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb. And she saw two angels in white, sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. May God add wisdom to this reading from the Word. A couple of things came out in our Bible study group this morning about this passage. One of them was Lynn talking about how the meditation she's working on is going to be looking at Mary being alone, that she came to the tomb alone in the morning, and that she also spent time alone with Jesus in the wilderness, in the garden afterwards. And as we go through these times of isolation, thinking about our own times of being alone, and that even when we're being alone, we're also alone with Jesus present with us too. Another thing we talked about as we were going through this passage and going through the Psalm, which is 118 again for this Sunday, different portions of it, and talking about putting our trust in God and trust in mortals and the challenges we face. And we got into a discussion about what's going on during this COVID-19 time and all the challenges we're facing, and some of the things we're seeing with the environment actually improving as we are not driving our cars and planes aren't flying, and they're saying the canals in Venice are cleaned up, and is this a change for the environment? Is there a change for the good that happens in this as well? And this is a challenging time, and it's good to be able to find positives that come out in these times too. I've also been hearing people saying, well, this time is God's way of taking revenge, or Mother Nature's way of taking revenge and making up for the damage that's been done. And hearing people who are seeing this as God being somehow present in this in a vengeful way, and it's frustrating to hear that kind of thing. I cannot understand that kind of theology. And at the same time, it's been so hard to put into words a way to respond to that. And Terry found a video that was shared with him that I'm going to include a link to, and I invite you to watch it. And it talks about Mother Nature and about God and about creation, mourning the loss of all the people, mourning the damage that's been done to the planet, and weeping in the same way that Mary would have wept in holding Jesus after his death. That Mary, the mother of Jesus, holding him. So I invite you to watch that video, and I found it quite inspiring and very helpful for me. We're now going to be going into the rest of Holy Week. Maundy Thursday is tomorrow, and then Good Friday. We can't do our regular procession of the cross on Friday, but you'll find a link along with this and also on our website to the virtual procession that Grant and Lee and I have managed to put together. So we're even separated physically at this time. We're still together in spirit with the other churches in town too. So I invite you to watch that video as well. May God bless you and keep you. May God be kind and gracious to you and bring you peace today and every day. Amen.
A happy Easter farewell.
Happy Easter to everybody.
Easter.
Bye-bye, all.
Happy
Happy Easter.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Care.
Bye.
Bill, we
So-
meet again.
Who's going to give us a note for starting Happy Birthday?
You. Happy birthday
Day
to
to
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday
you.
to you.
And many more.